All right, welcome to StraightUpSports.net. I am Will Vendervort. This is Scott Keepfer to my right. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight. As you can see, the beautiful Mark Sturgis is not here with us today. Scott, decided he was going to go on vacation. Like, when do you go on vacation when there's a football game opening up the season? What is wrong with this guy?
I don't know what Sturgis was thinking, but I think he's...
Another flyover. Sorry about that, but we had a lot of those. Just give us a second. Gotta love it. Can't help that. We're here, by the way, at Lakeside Lodge, outside here in the pavilion out here by the swimming pool. If you want to, if you're here, come out and join us. We appreciate you guys. We'll be here for every home game this football season as we get you ready for each and every home game for the Clemson Tigers. But that was a flyover for the Clemson men's soccer game, in case you were wondering. The Tigers playing another home game tonight, coming off, Scott, their big win over South Carolina the other day.
Wow, there
4-1.
you go. Well, maybe they deserve a flyover.
Yeah, they do. So eight times, I think 8 wins now in the last 9. That wasn't a loss. That was a draw last year. So
wow.
Mike Noonan doing a great job with the Clemson soccer team. But like I said, we're here. How about I say straight up? Here, look at that. We're here at Lakeside Lodge. Come and join us. Also, Traditions by the Lake Restaurant. Go check it out, man. They got some great food. If you haven't been here to eat before, I don't know why you haven't. Scott, I've been here several times. I always get the Sweet Fire BLT. It's unbelievable. I know this is your first time.
Right.
You got to try it, my friend. It's really good.
Will do. I'm an easy sell. Thank you.
That's good.
Yes.
As you can see, we're sports writers, so really easy sell when it comes to food. But we appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Got a busy show planned for you. Got a lot. We're going to talk about this football game over in Death Valley. I don't know if you guys know, but it's the Battle of Death Valleys is what they like to say. I think that's kind of crazy. I don't call it that, and I'll explain why later. But yeah, Clemson versus LSU. 7:30 tomorrow night, or 7:52 actually. There's going to be a special.
Yeah.
There's going to be a special thing, Scott, where they're going to. ESPN's going to do something, or ABC's going to do something with the whole thing. So that instead of 7:30, as what they're telling you to turn on your TV, stay with it, because obviously they're going to do something special with the Tigers running down the hill and everything. With what I've been told.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, maybe that's worth waiting till 7:52, right?
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Okay.
So Scott, me and you both remember 2017, right? We were. They announced this game, and we thought, man, 2025. That's a long way away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we are.
It was a long time coming, but boy, it's talk about anticipation. I mean, this has been building and building and building. Yeah, and initially we all looked at the schedules and said, "Oh man, that's years away. Who cares about it?" But boy, we're here and everyone cares about it.
And the thing that's funny, we didn't know at the time that Clemson and LSU were going to play in a national championship game against each other.
Exactly.
Unfortunately for, as Ross Taylor says it, the Blue Ridge Bengals did not beat the Bayou Bengals. The Bayou Bengals won that game with Joe Burrow going off on the Tigers and his, oh my gosh, unbelievable weapons that he had in that game. But it was they played once before in between, and then that kind of sets up this, this whole talk about Death Valley and, who's what or whatever. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But, Scott, how much purple and gold do you expect in the stadium tomorrow?
Well, what are you talking about? A bunch of LA Lakers fans going to show up or something?
Well, I'll be okay with that. I mean, could they leave LeBron James back in Los Angeles?
Yes. or maybe some East Carolina fans will show up, gold and purple. But
yeah.
No. Yeah, the gold and purple will show out, I'm sure. So, we know there's going to be a minimum of, about 10,000, right?
Yeah, and minimum.
Yeah. But I'm sure a few more have scalped tickets or gotten tickets some way or another, and probably paid a pretty penny for them. In fact, I was checking last night. I saw tickets. The cheapest possible single ticket I found was about right under $300, but they ranged up to, if you want a really good seat, $2,500.
And that's like 50-yard line or something?
Yeah, close to it anyway.
Yeah.
So this is a in-demand ticket, in-demand game, highly anticipated. It's got all you could want in a season opener.
The thing is, we talk about 10, 15,000 in the stadium, right? You know what I mean? You're not going to be in the stadium? About 30,000. They're expecting about 30,000 LSU fans that will not get into the stadium that are going to be in Death Valley for this game tomorrow night. And they're expecting about another 100 and so thousand not getting into the stadium that are going to be outside the stadium tailgating. I don't know, man. I think I want to go to that party.
Yeah, that could be a good one, I think, right? And I think the folks from Baton Rouge have a pretty good reputation for throwing a party.
They do. I actually heard, I was on a show in Louisiana, and they said they heard that Clemson, this is the first game Clemson is doing alcohol sales. If you guys don't know, Clemson's going to have it tomorrow, and it's going to be so you can get beer and also you can get spirits and stuff like that. But I was told that by some people down Baton Rouge that probably there won't be any alcohol way before the cutoff at third quarter. They said by halftime it'll probably run out because the LSU people will just go in and just take it all out. So
not only will the game be a sellout, the alcohol will be a sellout too?
Yes, I think Clemson's going to make probably their whole year of alcohol in this one game of whatever the sales would be for concessions.
Good time to approve alcohol sales.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think Clemson's going to mind if they sell out of that. I don't think Clemson will mind at all because that means they've made a lot of money off of it. So now here's the thing. So a lot of people are going to be feeling good outside the stadium, before the game, tailgating all day. They'll get here about 8 o'clock. They'll start tailgating. They'll pop open the beer probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock. If you ever have been to a real college tailgate, that's what happens, especially at Clemson in South Carolina, where they go hard. Yep. And so the LSU's going to come in here. We know they go hard. They hold the record in Omaha for the most Jello shots. It's not even close. They destroy everybody every year. And so, people are going to be feeling good, right?
Yep.
And then they're going to go into the stadium, and they're going to get some more adult beverages, if you will. Dude, the crowd noise is going to be ridiculous in this game.
Man.
And I got to ask, my friend, Brian Kelly didn't help the situation.
No, he poked the bear, didn't he? He poked Dabo.
Yeah, he poked Dabo, poked Clemson, he poked the Clemson fans.
Yeah.
So if people don't know, in, I guess, mid-July, SEC Media Days, Brian Kelly comes out and he's talking to the media and he says, we're going to go down to Death Valley. That's what they call it. We let Clemson borrow that name. And then he went on with whatever his spiel was. And so then later on that week, before ACC Media Days begins, the night before, he's on a radio show or something, and he says, we're going to go down there to Death Valley Junior and play a football game. And I'm like, okay, is this guy an idiot? Because he's bringing in a brand-new offensive line for the most part. And the Clemson fans are going to be fired up. Well, he's not done. No. He's not done yet.
One more lob today?
There's one more that came out last night during his radio show last night in Baton Rouge. And this is what Brian Kelly said as he was getting off the air. Let's get ready for a great environment. Not Death Valley, but it's going to be a great road win. Get there early and cheer on the Tigers, he said. Thank you for your support tonight. I was being a little late. We'll come early next week, and we'll talk about this win.
Ooh. Okay. You think Dabo noticed that? You think he's got that posted somewhere in the locker room?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
How fast do you think Ross Taylor went to Dabo when he saw this and handed him the document?
Probably sprinted into his office.
And I love Dabo. Dabo's always like, man, I don't read y'all stuff. I don't read it. Yeah, you do, Dabo. You ain't fooling me. You know you do. Come on. Come on, Dabo. But no, this is going to be pretty cool, though, man. I mean, Brian Kelly doing his thing, getting everybody fired up and mad. Dabo's going to do his thing, get everybody fired up on his team. It's going to be pretty cool.
And the decibel record for Memorial Stadium, 132.8.
Which is like second in the country or something?
It's way up there.
Yeah, it's higher than LSU, by the way.
And I'm thinking, if my memory serves, which it may not, but I think that record was set Miami game.
Yep, 2005.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it was deafening. I remember that game specifically.
Charles Bennett sacked.
Yes. Unbelievable. So maybe that 132.8 could be in jeopardy tomorrow night.
I'll be surprised, but maybe because he's rattled up the guys. I remember the LSU game. I mean, not the LSU game, the Louisville game in 2016. Do you remember how loud it was?
Yep.
And remember who was the coach? Satterfield was the coach for
Yep.
for Louisville at the time. And remember the comment he made? Or no, it wasn't. It was what's his name? It was the guy who's offensive coordinator back there now.
You've got me.
Okay, I got myself too. Anyway, he came out and had a comment where he said that he thought Death Valley, like, he's like, yeah, it's going to have a lot of people, but we've already been to a couple of tough environments. Talked that they were at Marshall.
Yeah.
He compared Marshall to Clemson's Death Valley. And what happened in that game with his young offensive line? Do you remember what happened?
Yeah. It wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty. 7 procedure penalties.
Yep.
7, including one on what would have been a game-winning drive for Louisville that pushed them back to 4th and 12, right? And they had to, they end up getting 2 yards short on the play, and that penalty cost them the game.
Yep.
So
Man. Be careful what you say.
be careful.
Yep.
And listen, Clemson goes all the way back, man. I can go all the way back, like 1977. Like, there was a rule put in the I know everybody likes to say LSU's the loudest stadium and everything like that. And, maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. We'll find out next year. I'm sure it is a loud stadium.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is. But I do know that there was once an NCAA rule called the Clemson rule. And it was put in, like, in 1977 when Virginia Tech quarterback could not hear anything, and his teammates couldn't hear him, and he had to step away. Remember?
Yep.
And so they called to delay a game in those days. For people who don't know, they would call delay a game on the home team, and you're penalized for it. And it was called the Clemson rule.
Yep.
Because of that, and it always happens on that west end of the stadium, and that's still the case today. That's where Charles Bennett sack was. That's where the Virginia Tech thing happened. That's where the Louisville thing happened. Guess what? It's going to happen tomorrow night.
Maybe it will. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen.
All right.
Night. So, anyway, we got a lot going on. We're going to talk a lot about this game, obviously. But Scott, we did have an off season before that. We kind of got to set it up a little bit. Okay. Clemson, kind of go rewind a little bit, if you will, for you people that probably don't remember. I hope you do, actually. That's a joke. Clemson made the playoff last year. First time they made it since Trevor Lawrence days in 2020. Won another ACC championship, the third time in 5 years, winning an ACC championship. And then, things could go change a little bit because they didn't win. They went to the playoffs, but there were some issues on defense and stuff like that. The run game was horrible last year, if you remember.
Yeah.
And so they go to the transfer portal, and what do?
They did, for the first time in Dabo's tenure, they've flirted with the portal, a guy here, a guy there, but this is the first time that they've done it in earnest. And although they only brought in 4 new guys from the portal, just about all of them have a chance to be impact players right away. They've never brought in 4 players who have a chance to be immediate impact guys. I mean, you've got Jeremiah Alexander, a linebacker, transfer in from Alabama. He could be a big impact guy. You've got, who else? We've got, Will Held, the edge guy from Purdue. He's, what is he, 6'6"? I mean, he's a formidable looking
he's
prospect
a
out there.
Football player. He's going to be a big time thing for them. And then the next one,
Tristan Smith,
wide
6'5" wide receiver. So Dabo's been widely criticized for years about not plunging into the portal. Well, he did a little bit this year, more than ever, and I think it's going to pay dividends for him right away.
It is. I agree, and we're going to see those guys. I think you're going to see Tristan Smith play tomorrow in key situations. I think you're going to see, obviously, Jeremiah Alexander playing. I think he's going to be used as that big tiger that you hear Coach Allen talk about, sort of like a bandit end position, if you will. And then I think you mentioned Will Helt. Will Helt's your starting defensive end, and he's the guy that they went and got to shore up that left side of the line because they just struggled so much last year with that. So I'm with you. I think all 3 of those guys are going to be very instrumental in what happens this football season. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, they had to make some changes on the coaching staff, in particular at defensive coordinator. Wes Goodwin experiment comes to an end. Yeah. Just some issues that happened. Dabo Swinney was asked last year after the Texas game, like, the issues on defense was it a personnel issue? What was it? And Dabo was like, it wasn't a personnel issue. That kind of told you all you needed to know right there, right?
Exactly.
You know.
And when you looked at Wes Goodwin, there's no questioning his defensive knowledge.
One of the smartest people I ever know.
Exactly. But I almost got the sense throughout last season that it was overwhelming to him, kind of too much, too soon. I don't know that he was ready to jump into that defensive coordinator role with a program such as Clemson.
No, I think it was by the way, now we got a train as you're coming by. So we've had an airplane and a train. So we just need a car. And we would hit trains, planes, and automobiles.
There you go.
If you remember that movie from the 80s with Steve Martin and John Candy, one of my favorite movies, actually. But anyway, so they go out and they go bring in Tom Allen. So, and Dabo goes out and gets them and steals them from Penn State after he took them to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And they were within a whisker going to the national championship game.
Exactly.
And so Tom Allen's defense, 7th in the country in total defense last year, 8th in the country in scoring defense. We're in the top 10 in rushing defense. One of the best sack leaders in the country, in the top 10 in sacks, tackles for loss.
Oh, Abdul Carter, the edge guy.
Was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think 32 tackles for loss. I mean, if he could get Clemson's edge to have half that many, it would be a big success. I mean, I think Dabo really was strategizing well when he sought out Tom Allen and lured him here.
Oh, absolutely. And you talked about Carter, right, and what he did. Reminds you of a lot of a guy named T.J. Parker.
Yes.
Same body type.
Yep.
And the way they used him, like he would play Mike, it looked like at times. He'd be out playing the wheel linebacker, it looked like at times. They didn't know what he was going to do. And Tom Allen, so I asked T.J. Parker at ACC Media Days, I said, they use Carter in a lot of different ways now. That kind of gets you excited how they're going to use. He says, y'all guys just wait and see how I'm going to be used. You're going to be pleasantly surprised, is what he told me.
He's going to bring out the best in T.J. Parker.
I think question. So too. Yeah. So anyway, so that's Coach Allen. We'll see what happens there. We're going to find out tomorrow night how much of that's going to change things. I think it will, because Clemson's defense 2 years ago, we just mentioned T.J. Parker, Peter Woods, Khalil Barnes, Wade Woodaz, Avion Terrell, Sheldon Lewis. All those guys were there 2 years ago, Scott. That was a top 10 defense.
Yep.
So I think you're going to see the same. You know what I'm saying? I think you're going to see that. The potential of them being a top 10 defense, we know is there because they've already been one.
Right.
So last year was just about effort and coaching, I think, is what was the problem. Why there's bad tackling. It was horrible tackling last year and stuff like that. So,
are there any freshmen on this team that you see being able to contribute right away or not?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good freshmen. The Brookings kid at tight end is definitely going to be one. There's Amir Adams at defensive tackle. You're going to see him without a doubt tomorrow night. But the guy that really stands out is Gideon Davis, the running back. I think he's kind of worked his way into where right now he's going to be probably the third-team running back. Yeah. But in Clemson's offense, third-team running back's going to play. That's the way they rotate them. And so you're going to see him, I think, at some point in the game. Now, you're not going to see him on 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7. I can tell you that.
Right.
Freshman is not going to be in on those moments. So LSU knows when he's in there, they're probably going to run the ball. But what I would do if I was Clemson, if that's the case, I would go 22 personnel.
Yeah.
And I would totally make them think, and then I would move Adam Randall out to see what the defense is doing, and then I'd bring him back in, and I'm like, okay, are we giving it to the freshman or not?
Yep.
There's a lot of things because of Adam Randall. Who Adam Randall? We're gonna get into this. You know who he reminds me of a lot? Remember Travis Zachary?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Remember how Tommy Bowden and Rich Rodriguez used Travis Zachary?
Yes.
And the key to that offense was Travis Zachary. As much as it was Woody Dantzler, don't get me wrong, but Travis Zachary was the man.
Yep. He was versatile.
He was.
Yep.
So, anyway, and then, of course, there's a lot of hype surrounding Cade Klubnik as well. What do you think, real fast, before we go to our first break here, about Cade Klubnik?
He rebounded in a big way last season, and now here he is perched in a place where he can, I guess, cement his legacy here. Mm-hmm. If he has another year like he did last year, 44 touchdowns, 6 picks, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just, he shined and he exuded confidence from the entire season. And so he'll go into this season way ahead of where he was last year. I think he is going to join Taj Boyd, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson as some of the iconic quarterbacks under Dabo Swinney.
I think you're right. I think he's going to be I think that progression continues this year, and you're going to see him take it to another level, I believe. I mean, he's not going to make the jump that he made last year because you don't make that jump. Your second year is always your biggest jump, but he'll make a jump, and he'll be where he needs to be. So, anyway, by the way, you got to come out here at Lakeside Lodge. It is a beautiful place. If you've never been here before, they got places for people to come on game day. You can stay here. People rent out their condos, and you can stay here. It's right on the lake. You can see the lake here behind me probably. It's real pretty. They got a swimming pool. They have live music and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, tonight they're going to have Dave Landio Band at tonight. He's going to be performing. Next week it's going to be, Julia Gulia from Jacksonville is going to be here. So you want to come out here to Lakeside Lodge and check it all out and, just experience what it is. Come say hello to us, too, if you want to. We're the least amount of people to come see. But come do it anyway. Go check out Traditions by the Lake on the lake as well to have some good food. So anyway, that's going to do it. We're going to come back here in a few minutes. We're going to talk more Clemson LSU in just a few minutes.
To the innovators, the disruptors, the game changers, the ones who brave the frontiers of knowledge with relentless curiosity. There is a place where you belong, a place that gives you an advantage. Furman is your launch pad, your proving ground, your home. Here you're not just learning, you're evolving, igniting, propelling from who you are to who you're destined to be.
It's more than football.
Let's all come together to be a bridge builder through this great game to change the lives of the people in the state of South Carolina.
Together, we can be a voice to help educate, encourage, and empower excellence in our youth and community.
Join the movement and help support all that the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame is doing to embrace this mission of celebrating, recognizing, and encouraging excellence.
I'm here at one of my favorite places in Greenville. That's Tip It Back Sports Grill, 215 Pelham Road, here in the Commons at Pelham. And listen, there's a lot going on at Tip It Back here during the week. First of all, there's happy hour, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. There's great food. They're open at noon for lunch. But Mondays, you can enjoy live trivia at 7 p.m., then Monday Night Football. On Thursdays, it's football and then karaoke. On Friday night, some of the best live entertainment in the upstate. And then Saturday, it's football all day and finishes off with karaoke. And then Sunday, it's NFL football. And if you're a Steelers fan, this is your spot. It's the home for the Steelers. They're on the broadcast here in the bar all day long. That's Tip It Back Sports Grill. Check them out. It'll be your home for college football.
All right, welcome back to Straight Up. Hold on, let me make sure I say this right, Sturge. You're going to be mad at me. StraightUpSports.net. Too many words there, Sturge. StraightUpWithSturge.net. Gosh, I'm so StraightUpWithSturge.net. Welcome back. We appreciate you guys being with us. That one gets me tongue-tied. I'm sorry, Cliff. But we're here at Lakeside Lodge. We appreciate you being with us as we get you ready for Clemson LSU tomorrow night, 7:52 kickoff on ABC. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere, great environment. We appreciate you guys, again, being with us. We're going to go ahead now, Scott, and kind of look at around the ACC and around the country here. We got some games. Last night in the ACC, we had a couple games. And I want to talk to you a little bit about one of them. East Carolina at NC State. The reason I said I want to talk to Scott about one of them is this one. It's because Scott is an NC State grad. And we always give him a hard time with this Wolfie thing. And, dude, last night they go up 17-0. Looked like they're about to just dominate and cruise.
Yeah.
And then the typical thing Dave Doran teams do,
yeah.
they just let them right back in. Talk to me about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing that really stood out was NC State's offensive line, or lack thereof. I mean, I get they lost a couple key guys, but gee whiz, if you can't run block any better than that, it's going to be a long season for you. You have to be able to establish the run, and Doran, that's his thing. You know what I mean? He wants to establish a run first and foremost, and they established nothing. Thank goodness they have a quarterback named C.J. Bailey, the 6'6" C.J. Bailey.
He grew in it, by the way.
Yeah, unbelievable. And what I can't believe about him, he's very impressive. He had a good freshman year last year. He had to come on and replace the guy that got injured. And he grew up a lot. He was under the gun, but made some great strides. And he's the guy now. They've handed him the keys to the program. And I took notice about a month ago, a guy listed the 13 ACC quarterbacks who are on the watch list for the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Well, there were 13 in the ACC, but no C.J. Bailey.
Wow.
So you can't tell me that there's 13 quarterbacks in this league better than C.J. Bailey. And I think he's probably going to set out to disprove that guy. I mean, he threw for 318 yards, ran for a touchdown, threw for another. So we'll see. But they've got plenty of room for improvement.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you hope the offensive line gets better because he ain't going to make it through the season.
No.
If they don't do a better job and take care of him.
Yeah.
NC State wasn't the only team that played last night. Duke hosted Elon in their home opener last night as well. Struggled a little bit in the first half, 10-10 at halftime. But the second half came out and dominated, won 45-17 going away. So Duke moves to 1-0. Good win for them. Tonight, playing as we're talking right now, the Kennesaw State whatevers are coming to Wake Forest, and they're playing Wake Forest. Sorry, Kennesaw State, I don't know your mascot, but you're playing the Demon Deacons at Wake Forest. Big game for Wake, obviously, because a new coach. Gosh, they had a lot of turnover. You hope they could just get 1 or 2 wins this year to kind of just build some positivity for the program, right?
Yes, no question. Yep.
And then, of course, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, and then later on, right, you've got Georgia Tech at Colorado. And that's an intriguing matchup because Georgia Tech seems to has turned the corner and is looking good. And their quarterback is one of the 13 in the ACC that I think clearly is better than C.J. Bailey, Haynes King. He can kind of do it all. And if you're going to try to turn a program around, he's the kind of player you really want on your team to get it going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Haynes King and Georgia Tech in 2 weeks host Clemson.
Yeah.
In what I think is a game that's going to determine one of the representatives in the ACC championship game. It's that big of a game. Georgia Tech is a really good football team. Their schedule after Clemson in the ACC is not very strong. I think they can win the rest of them and go on out, with a 7-1 record or 8-0 if they beat Clemson. So that's a big game in a couple of weeks in Atlanta with the Tigers going and the ghost of Bobby Dodd and all that stuff that goes on. I mean, strange things happen in Clemson when they go to Atlanta.
Yes, it's a crazy tradition, and when they get together, it's always just like you say, crazy. Mm-hmm. And hey, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. There's a huge game tomorrow in the ACC. This is probably the biggest game on the slate. It's the Battle of Pittsburgh. Duquesne at Pitt at noon tomorrow. I mean, can you imagine what it's going to be like at Heinz Field tomorrow? Or excuse me, Acrisure Stadium. Sorry. Still can't get used to that.
Utter bedlam.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Utter bedlam. Duquesne, they're coming in there. They got their fist pumping. They're ready to go, against Pitt. You can hear Leonard's Losers. Remember Leonard's Losers?
Yes.
Can you hear him describing this game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Duquesnes come into the game with the battle to play those Panthers from Pittsburgh. And they're all, all this, and he's Leonard's Losers, Duquesne. Anyway, big game there in the city of Pittsburgh tomorrow. Bragging rights for the city of Pittsburgh, Duquesne at Pitt. Also at noon tomorrow. This is actually a big game.
Oh, wow. The All-Orange Bowl?
Holy
cow. That's Syracuse at Tennessee?
Yes, a noon kickoff.
My goodness, that would be enough. Be more orange there than there will be here. I mean,
technically, yeah.
That's just crazy. Tennessee's ranked, and it's hard to believe. I checked today; both of those teams were 10-3 a year ago.
Tennessee doesn't surprise you,
but Syracuse, I forgot they won 10 games.
Yes,
under a first-year coach,
and beat Miami to get Clemson to the ACC championship game. Dabo still says thank you, Fran Brown.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Hey, it'll be interesting to see what happens in that.
Here's what I want. Syracuse is going to throw the football.
Yep.
And this game is a sneaky watch-out game.
Yep.
I think Tennessee should win it, but Tennessee has some issues. Remember the whole situation with their quarterback? He transfers to UCLA. He wanted more money. Like, this is like the NFL or something, and he thinks he's Micah Parsons. The whole thing there was just weird. They had to bring in another quarterback. The kid from Appalachian State last year used to all play Clemson.
Yeah.
And here comes Syracuse, with Fran Brown, man, and they just like, you know what? Nobody thinks we're going to be good. Nobody cares about us. We're just going to go throw the football about 600 times, and we're going to beat you in a high-scoring game. That's what they want to do.
Yep.
So that's going to be an interesting game to watch out for tomorrow. Another big-time game, Fordham at Boston College, 2 o'clock kickoff. Let's keep it going. Let's go with the directional schools. Eastern Kentucky at 3 o'clock is at Louisville.
Yep.
Gotta like that. And then this one is, I think this might be okay game. 3:30, number 8 Alabama at Florida State. That might be an okay game.
Wow, that's it's certainly going to draw some eyes. And after that abysmal 2-10 season, last place in the ACC, Florida State last year.
Can you imagine saying that last place in the ACC?
No one would have believed that.
That's just nuts.
Norvell, he at least better keep it close for a while. Let's see. I mean, it's at Florida State.
It's in Tallahassee.
So,
brand new
revamped stadium, right?
Yeah, revamped stadium. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah. So, hey, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing kicked off.
You know what I like about Doak Campbell Stadium down there is it's the biggest high school stadium I've ever been to. Because they got those high school bleachers, and it's like, when you walk in, it's like they got this facade on the outside, like it looks like it's made of brick and mortar, and really it's just made of all aluminum. And it's like, so, it's one of the best high school stadiums in the country. It really is. Not
to offend anyone.
But I'm going to offend you.
Just saying.
Anyway, 6 p.m., Coastal Carolina at Virginia. You wanted to talk a little bit about this one. What you got for me?
Look, this is Tony Elliott going into his 4th season, the former Clemson offensive coordinator. Has yet to have a winning season. They showed improvement a year ago, finished 5-7. Could have been better because they lost multiple close games. And lining up at quarterback for the Cavaliers will be Chandler Morris.
Anybody remember who Chandler Morris is? Tell them who he is, Scott.
Well, Dabo and his family remember. he is the son of former Clemson offensive coordinator Chad Morris. And he's had a well-traveled journey. He's been, I think, Virginia's his 4th school. Mm-hmm. Hey, he's thrown for about 4,000 career yards, so he knows what he's doing. And he's a dual threat. He can run the ball, too. So I think, Tony's banking on him to help them get over the hump a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a big year for Tony. And Look, Tony was my running partner, and you can see how fat I've gotten since Tony took the Virginia job. So, I mean, me and Tony, we were accountability buddies. We ran all the time. And ever since he left to go to Virginia, I've gotten fat. So that's on Tony. It's on Tony. It's not on me. It's on Tony.
We'll blame Tony.
But big game for Tony, and I hope him and Virginia get off to a good start. And Chandler Morris is the answer they need at quarterback up there, and they get off to a good start and play well. They got a very favorable schedule in the ACC.
Yes.
So they could actually make a run, and they're one of my dark horses that you could possibly see. As crazy as this sounds, but if you look at the schedule, they got a chance to win every game in the ACC.
That's too crazy.
That is nuts.
It's too crazy.
I know it's crazy, but I'm just saying, like, don't put it out of the realm of possibility.
Wow. Okay.
Virginia could be up in the ACC championship game.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And then speaking of, let's go back. I know you know this school. This is a powerhouse. East Texas A&M. Remember them? East Texas A&M is playing at number 16 SMU. That's going to be a doozy, isn't it? In Dallas.
Gee whiz.
ACC Network, by the way. Yes. I'm sure they're excited about covering that one. And then at 10:30, Cal at Oregon State will wrap up the Saturday. Oh, I forgot a game. How did I do that? Of course, at 7:30 here in Clemson is the big game of the night. I say it's the biggest game in the country. I know they talk about what's going on in this place called the Horseshoe up at Ohio State. I get it, Texas, Ohio State, whatever. You know, I think this is the biggest game because this is the battle of Death Valley, man. This is Clemson Tigers versus LSU Tigers. It's a top 10 game. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. It's a bunch of Southerners drinking, having a good old time. I mean, come on. You do got the Texas Southerners, and they're kind of going up to, but Ohio, come on. Ohio ain't gonna. Ohio can't match Clemson, South Carolina when it comes to tailgating and partying. We know that, right?
Right.
We've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, but Clemson, LSU, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that, but still, it's gonna be huge tomorrow night.
And this is what? How many top 10 matchups have there been in Death Valley? Like 5, 6?
7 overall.
7, okay.
7 overall. This will be the 8th one. But only 3 where a top 10 team has come to start the season in Death Valley. Right? So LSU's the 3rd. And this is only the 2nd time that both teams are ranked in the top 10 to open the season in Death Valley. So this is a pretty historical game.
Yes.
Not just the fact that it's Death Valley versus Death Valley, it's LSU Tigers versus Clemson Tigers. It's actually historic in the sense of Memorial Stadium and these kind of games to start a season. You think Clemson, Georgia would have had a few more of those, right? I mean, but they haven't, you know?
No.
You know? All right, so go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Just the last time they played.
Just the last time they played.
Yeah.
That was the one. The one
that
before that.
2013?
2013, number 5 Georgia versus number 30, number 30. and number 8 Clemson, and Clemson won 38-35. Taj Boyd throwing a couple touchdown passes. This guy, you ever heard of him, Sammy Watkins?
He was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Going to be in the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame.
There you go.
You know, so Nuke Hopkins going in this year, you know.
Wow.
You know, he's going in. Crazy, man. We've had Taj, Nuke, Sammy. I mean, like all those guys, man. I'm feeling old. Friday. This is the battle of the birds. You got the turkeys versus the chickens in Atlanta. Virginia Tech versus South Carolina. That's going to be a good one.
Wow, it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah. Beamer facing his
old school,
beloved school. He was a player,
do you have
assistant
a turkey
coach.
Leg or do you have a chicken leg for this game?
I don't know. One in each hand. Gee whiz.
I'm making myself hungry.
But this is obviously a very meaningful game for Shane Beamer.
Yeah.
And South Carolina's coming off a big year. Virginia Tech's looking to break through. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Now listen, we joke around in all seriousness, but I think Lenore Sellers is probably one of the best players in the country.
Sure.
And don't be surprised if you see him in New York lifting that Heisman Trophy at the end of the year. Reminds me a lot of a guy named Cam Newton, who I watched just take an average Auburn team and took them to a national championship. I don't know if Lenore Sellers is going to take South Carolina to a national championship because this is South Carolina we're talking about. But, I think they're going to be pretty good, and I think if they win 9 or 10 games, I think he's going to be in New York with a chance to win that Heisman. And maybe Kay Klubnik's right there with them. We'll see. Well, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Clemson, I mean, that's never happened before where both teams, had the going into the last week of the season had the Heisman Trophy favorite.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So, and then of course the last game on Sunday, it's the battle of the Catholics versus the convicts. Number 6 Notre Dame versus number 10 Miami. Down in, I don't know what stadium in Miami. I don't know what they call it now. Hard Rock Castle, whatever.
They change the name every year.
I know. So. I don't know. They change the look and the name. But it'll be packed out because it's Miami Notre Dame, and so that's going to be a fun one, man. I tell you, you think they're going to be selling T-shirts tomorrow for that game?
Yes.
Yes. They need to, right? So that's going to be a good one. And then let's see, Monday. Oh boy. This is going to be fun.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the, let's see, I got to be nice on this one. I think I'll just go TCU at North Carolina.
Must-see TV.
I just want to know, though. This is what I'm really looking for. I'm looking to see if Miss Jordan's going to be on the sideline. That's really what we're looking for. Is she going to be holding her granddaddy's boyfriend's hand during the game, or what? What do you think is going to happen?
She'll be monitoring his behavior for sure.
Yeah.
So, I think TMZ and Access Hollywood will be honed in on what's happening on the UNC sideline.
Yeah, it'll be like watching a Kansas City Chiefs game, where you're always looking to see what Taylor Swift's doing. That's what we're going to be doing.
Yep.
What is Jordan doing? By the way, did you hear what happened this week with her, what she did?
Not so sure, no.
Yeah, so she went and trademarked a bunch of things. Got Bill Belichick's lawyer behind it.
Yeah.
And so...
Smart move on her behalf, perhaps.
Yeah, and what was one of the things she trademarked? The phrase gold digger. You gotta love it. The girl says, you know what? I'm just going to own it. And literally, she's going to own it.
Wow.
She trademarked the phrase gold digger as one of the things she trademarked, which is pretty special. So anyway,
that may result in a bunch of T-shirt sales.
That's how you go to a break, my friends.
Wow.
That's how you go to a break. Come out here and join us, Lakeside Lodge. We're out here. We're going to be out here for another 20 minutes or so. Come say hello to us. Go by at Traditions of the Lake on game day. Come out here. You got the Depot Burger. Oh, my gosh, the Depot Burger is so good, dude. You got to try it out. Also, they got the pork ribeye, really good, smothered chicken. So come try it out, man. I've tried out all these dishes. Again, that's why I'm fat. We'll be here for another 20 minutes. Come say hello to us. We're at Lakeside Lodge.
Guys, we've got you covered this football season at StraightUpSports.net. We have the best retired writers assembled on one staff in the state of South Carolina, like Bob Gillespie, formerly of the state newspaper, Scott Keepfer from the Greenville News, me from ESPN Upstate. We even have a student reporter, McCain Childress, down on the coast, doing some Citadel and coastal things for us. But we'll change out the links and articles every week with some of the best stories. That's the key, the best stories you're going to see. Check us out, StraightUpSports.net.
My name is Shania Gullidge, and I work here at Traditions on the Lake. One of the things that I definitely think makes this place so special is the warm and welcoming environment. There is nothing on the menu that I do not like, and I'm typically a super picky eater, but there is literally not one thing that I wouldn't recommend. I think Traditions is definitely a perfect spot for a family. It is the perfect environment to bring your kids, very warm and inviting. It's just a very beautiful environment all around.
Kirk Fisher is a motorcycle attorney with first responder experience. He protects fellow riders and those in danger, fighting fires and fighting for your rights. Experienced, determined, and dedicated. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. Look for motorcycles, or Kurt Fisher will be looking for you.
Early in the
preseason. The preseason.
All right, welcome back to Straight Up with Sturge. I'm Will Vendervort. That's Scott Keepfer. We're here at Lakeside Lodge here in Clemson. Come by and check it out, man. You got to check it out. It's a great place. We've been here several years now and enjoy doing it. My favorite place, of course, is Traditions on the Lake because I get to eat. Nothing better than a place where you get to eat. Come check them out, man. They got Scott. Their smothered chicken. Unbelievable,
not
dude.
bad, huh?
You got to come check it out. Also,
chicken and waffles.
their chicken and waffles.
Ooh.
I've had that before. Very good. You can't go wrong. Also tonight, the Dave Landio Band, is playing. Am I saying that right?
That's what it looks like to me.
Okay, good.
Dave Landio.
I don't mind telling people this. I'm dyslexic, so things go crazy for me with my eyes, especially when it's in these kind of fonts. So Scott's helping me out with it. So I am stupid, so it's okay. Anyway, not that people who have dyslexia are stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I am. So anyway, by the way, Straight Up Sports.net. That's where you can find us. You can go back and watch the show anytime you want to. We appreciate you being here. We got about another 20 minutes or so. We're going to get on out of here, but we got a lot to do, so we're going to go fast here. Scott, first of all, Garrett Nussmeier. What are we going to see out of him tomorrow night? Because, first of all, he's not a very mobile guy to begin with.
Right.
Then reports come out of camp a few weeks ago.
Yep.
He might have a sprained knee. Of course, Brian Kelly, because you can trust him. He's always telling us, hey, he's okay, he's fine, he's going to play. What do you think we're going to see tomorrow night?
I think we're going to see a concerted effort by the defensive front line of the Clemson football-playing Tigers to put massive amounts of pressure on him. He won't be able to escape it. But, hey, look, his forte is passing, and they are well-armed in the receiving corps.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, but, if you eliminate any threat of him running, which you will do, then you leave it up to your secondary to come through in a big way. I think they're going to have tackles for loss. I think they're going to have sacks. So it could turn in what they hope is a rough night for young Garrett.
Yeah, I think Clemson's going to want to get pressure on him.
Yep.
And the pressure up the middle. It's got to come up the middle, get him off his spot, get him off his timing off. One thing I tell you what they're going to do with this aggressive Clemson defensive front is they're going to, hey, we got music coming on. So now we've had planes, we've had trains, and now we're having music.
Yep.
This is, I love it. This has been great. We've kind of all kinds of entertainment.
It's an active scene.
It's a very
That's
active
what you
scene.
want. Yes.
It keeps you on your toes.
Yes.
Anyway, getting back to it, I think Clemson wants to get pressure on him.
No question.
And it's got to be up the middle.
Yep.
You got to get him off his spot. I think they're going to try and counter by dumping out quick passes. So with that said, if you're TJ Parker and you're those guys, you've got to do what?
Contain
them.
And get upfield too. I mean, look.
Get your hands up, not passes down.
Yeah, and they have the size and ranginess to do just that.
Exactly. Let me ask you this, man. It's kind of crazy, but is Brian Kelly a good fit at LSU? Does he? When you say LSU, do you think Brian Kelly?
No, not at all. I think Cincinnati and Notre Dame, and then, and when he took the job, 3.5 years ago?
Right.
I was thinking, is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Brian Kelly to LSU. Now he does make $9.9 million a year.
That's not
so
too
he
bad.
probably thinks it's a pretty good fit.
Yeah. He's got 9.9 million reasons.
There you go. Now they've had 10 wins, and 9 wins in 3 years. That's pretty good consistency. But
it's not
I
LSU.
don't. Yeah, I think LSU has. Look, they have higher standards than that, and they're going to demand and want more. So, who knows? And hey, Dabo's number 2 behind that coach over at Georgia in salary.
Yeah,
right?
Dabo does okay.
So
for
he
himself.
does. He's scraping by, and Brian Kelly is 8, which is 2 spots behind Mike Norvell, whose team
Because nobody deserves money as much as Mike Norvell.
whose team went 2-10 last season.
Right.
So with no
That's
with
what you
no
do. You give $11 million, $10 million to a team, a guy who's 2-10,
there you go.
and you have an $84 million buyout.
And no salary, no cut in salary from that.
Can you imagine? I would want to get fired if you're going to give me $84 million. I would do everything to make sure. And maybe he is. They went 2-10 last year, so maybe he's doing everything he can to get that.
I would do that. I would highly recommend that. And then
Why win national championships when you can make $84 million?
There you go. And then go fishing for the next 30 years.
Jimbo Fisher, he's on the ACC network, made $77 million. He said, you know what?
I'm
gonna go on the
good.
ACC
I'm
network.
good. Yep. Wow. So, yeah, is he a good fit? I don't know. But, he's having some success, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for the LSU fan base.
He's had a little fun this week, too, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Too much fun.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, like, he's taking shots at Death Valley
He
and
is.
Clemson.
He is.
I mean,
Yeah.
Is he going to go spit on Howard's Rock? Is that what he's going to do next? I mean, what is this guy doing, man? I mean, we talked about it earlier. He's kind of poking the fans. And so listen, here's the situation, okay? I get kind of tired of hearing LSU's the real thing and all this. First of all, they didn't start calling it. I don't care what their urban legends say. They 1950s and all. No, they didn't do that. They really didn't start till Tim Brando on ESPN back in the late 80s started calling them Death Valley. And that's when it really I talked to Paul Dietzel, the late Paul Dietzel, about when Clemson played LSU in the Chick-fil-A Bowl back in 2012. And I was doing the story on this, and I talked to him. I said, Coach, did they call it Death Valley when you were there? And he was there from 1955 to 1961 during that national championship season. And he says, no. He said the only thing they ever called it was Tiger Stadium.
Right.
He said he never heard it once called Death Valley or Death Valley or anything. And so all these urban legends that when Billy Cannon, he got the punt and he took it on Halloween night, 89 yards for a touchdown. And the Cajuns came out screaming, it's too loud. It's Death Valley. And then they really were saying Death Valley because they're Cajuns. Like, that's all a bunch of malarkey. That didn't happen. I mean, it's all urban legend. They don't have a set date of when they actually started calling it LSU. No. And they get mad and they try to poke at the Clemson fans, and it works because it gets me going. And I'm just a media guy, but I'm like big on facts because I'm a media guy. And the facts tell me, people, Clemson has a date, 1945. Lonnie McMillan, Presbyterian head coach, his Presbyterian team got beat 76-0. The Blue Hose, by the way, I do know that one. The Blue Hose got beat 76-0 by Frank Howard's Tigers that year. And so he told his boys the next year, they're coming up, boys, we got to go to Death Valley, South Carolina. And the reason they call it Death Valley, Scott, is because Clemson's actually played in a valley, folks. It was a valley that was filled with trees and stuff, and they cut the valley out. They cut all those trees out, kept the valley in place. That's why, they run down the hill. It's a 110-foot steep hill. I know that because I measured it one time. And so I'm weird like that. So it's a 110-foot drop, and they run into the valley, and everything is that's why the sound goes down, because it's in a valley, and they got it to make sure the sound goes and stays in that valley. That's why it's so loud. So Clemson started it then. Frank Howard, Mr. Bradley, the great Mr. Bradley, we both knew. About in the mid-'50s, he started going ahead and officially calling it Clemson's Death Valley.
Yep.
And then Coach Howard, of course, would do it, go on these. Coach Howard was a great speaker, and would go on these speaking engagements, and I call it Death Valley every time I got up on stage and told them boys what they were going to call it and how they were going to call it, and so, and that's how it stuck.
Yep.
And Clemson's been Death Valley, and then LSU wants to come in here and try to steal it.
I think you're actually excited by the fact that Brian Kelly has insulted the Clemson fan base because it gives you more ammunition.
It does.
Yes. And
there's one thing I am is I love ammunition.
Gives you a chance to vent.
I don't mean that like guns, though. I'm just talking about with my verbal snide marks.
There you go. So, Brian Kelly's adding fuel to the fire.
Yes.
And it's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a good thing, and it's good for TV. It's going to make TV drama good tomorrow night.
Sure.
And I can't wait. Remember when they came in 2015? And this is why I'm like, Brian Kelly, why are you poking the bear? because he thought and this is no disrespect to you, okay? I don't mean this disrespectfully. He thought when Clemson came in 2015, when Notre Dame came in 2015, he thought because the hurricane was coming and all, that it was going to be like Raleigh, that there was going to be nobody there. Because, and the people in Raleigh didn't want to go out in the rain. He comes here, he was not expecting 81,500 people to be loud and proud.
Right.
In a rainstorm where they're soaked.
Yep.
I mean, every inch of your body is soaked. And our good buddy Bart Boatwright still is draining out water out of his pants from that game. And so, but you remember, like, his face when he came out of the tunnel and he saw, I mean, it's on television. You can go look at the pictures. It's on YouTube and everything. It's on Instagram. You go find it. It's easy to find that face. But his face was like just totally bewildered. Like he could not believe there was 81,000. And it took his team 2.5 quarters to finally get going.
Yeah.
Remember? And Clemson built that big lead
Yeah.
on them. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yes. Anyway, Brian Kelly, I don't know what you're doing. All right, so let's go. We kind of talked a little bit about Garrett Nussmeier and the crowd noise a little bit. The lines of scrimmage, Scott.
The all-important aspect of every game, right?
What do you think about this game from not just offense, but defense too? Like when you say, okay, who's going to win the battle of the lines of scrimmage? What do you think?
I think you have to look at your personnel. You have to look at guys like Blake Miller and Tristan Lee, and fortunately for Clemson, they have some experience on the offensive front, and the defensive front for Clemson. My goodness, you've got 3 potential. You have 2 pretty much guaranteed first-round draft picks.
Exactly. Peter Woods, T.J. Parker.
Right. And, hey, DeMonte Capehart, could he be a draft pick?
Dude, looks like Chester McLaughlin.
He does. So you could have 3 on the defensive front who go to the NFL. And I almost feel, what's going to be concerning for LSU is their offensive front. They lost their 4 starters, both guards and both tackles, to the NFL. So you're basically starting from scratch.
Right.
And you're facing what could be, what many people see as the top defensive front in the country in a season opening game. I mean, so if you're Clemson, you're hoping that it creates total havoc.
And then we got a situation I think a lot of people are going to be interested in is the running back situation at Clemson. Adam Randall looks like he's going to get the start.
Yep.
What do you think what do you think we're going to see tomorrow night out of Adam Randall and the running backs?
I am really looking forward to seeing how the Adam Randall experiment unfolds. He came in as a wide receiver, and last year, toward the postseason, when Phil Maffa was dealing with nagging injuries, Randall kind of emerged and came up big. They moved him in practice, right?
Yep.
And
learned 3 plays.
There you go. Yeah. And during this off season,
he's learned more than 3 plays.
He has. Dabo was telling the story the other day about how he asked Adam, "What do you do best on the football field?" And Adam said, "Run with the ball." Very simple and straightforward explanation, but that's exactly what Dabo wanted to hear. And so here he is at running back, and he's got the size and wherewithal to be a formidable force. There's
Looks
no
like
question.
Derrick Henry from a physical standpoint.
Holy cow. I asked Tim Beret the other day, I said, hey, when was the last time Clemson had a running back comparable to Adam Randall in both height and weight? And he said, Rudy Harris.
Yeah. That's a good one. Chris Franklin would be another one.
Yeah.
If you remember Chris Franklin
Yep.
from the early 90s, that same teams.
Yep. So Rudy was 6'3", 235, Tim said. Mm-hmm. And he also mentioned Marvin Sims, who was
Marvin Sims from
6'4",
234.
78.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while. And you've had, there's been a bunch of great backs who were pretty good size, but none that were 6'2", 235.
Now, the guys that are going to be hitting him, we just talked to one earlier, Whit Weeks, got the other Weeks brother, And then this guy who, when you turn on the tape and look,
Harold Perkins?
Harold Perkins.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Now, these are guys who are going to be in the NFL, too.
Yeah, they're grown men.
Yeah.
And they're going to be hitting. Do you imagine that G-force when they run into Adam Randall?
Oh, boy.
Especially Harold Perkins?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in how they're going to use Harold Perkins. I really am. We talked about T.J. Parker and Jermaine Alexander, how Clemson's going to use him. How is LSU going to use him? I think he's an X factor in this game for LSU, without a doubt.
No question. Yep. They're loaded. They're loaded at linebacker.
And then now let's go ahead, man. We got a few minutes here before we get out of here. We got to give our predictions. Tell me the key to the game and what do you think is going to happen real fast?
Wow. Look, the key to the game, one of the keys to the game is the crowd. There's going to be, 81,500 screaming people, and Clemson's crowd has been known in the past to force opponents into false starts, sometimes by the boatload. And I think that's capable to happen again, particularly with a youthful offensive line who have made very few, if any, starts. And then the other thing is Clemson establishing the run game. I want to see how Adam Randall handles this new task he's been charged with. But as a backup, it's always great to have a confident, assured quarterback like Cade Klubnik, and who is blessed with, I think this is the deepest receiving core Clemson's had since, 2016?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, they go 6 deep easily.
Absolutely.
And
2 waves of terror, baby.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, so my prediction, I think it's going to be close for a little while early, and it's still going to be fairly close no matter what. But I'm picking the Tigers by Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Let me clarify.
You got to clarify what Tigers you're talking about.
By 24-17.
All right, 24-17. I like it. You got a low-scoring kind of game, so don't go the over with Scott's pick. I think the key is very simple. We mentioned about the LSU offensive line, 4 brand-new starters, Clemson's defensive front. That's definitely where this game is going to be won or lost. But also, you mentioned Cade Klubnik. I think Cade Klubnik has got to be the Cade Klubnik we saw against Texas. He's got to be the Cade Klubnik we saw against Pittsburgh. Making heady plays, being accurate with the football, and just being confident and not indecisive, being very decisive in what he does. I think if that Cade Klubnik, which I think is going to play tomorrow night, that's the one that's going to play, I think Clemson's going to be good because I think the offense can move the football in this game. I think they showed against Texas they're going to be very difficult to stop no matter who they play. And I think Clemson's defense is going to be much improved, and they're going to get enough stops to win this game. I'm going to go with the Tigers of Clemson, 34, LSU 20 in this game. So that's going to do it for us tonight with Straight Up with Sturge here at I almost said my other sponsor. I didn't want to go there. Straight Up with Sturge here at Lakeside Lodge. We appreciate you guys joining us. Go come out and see Dave Lando Band tonight, and then also go check out Traditions by the Lake on the lake as well. We appreciate you guys joining us. We'll talk to you next time on Straight Up with Sturge.